For decades, the Strait of Hormuz has been the world's most important energy choke point. A narrow stretch of water just 33 kilometers wide at its narrowest point, connecting the Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. Yet despite its small size, nearly 1/5 of the world's oil consumption and around 20% of global LNG trade traditionally pass through this waterway every single day. But everything changed when war erupted between the United States, Israel, and Iran. Today, the Strait of Hormuz tells the story of two completely different worlds, pre-war and post-war. Before the conflict erupted, the Strait of Hormuz functioned like the world's energy highway. On an average day, 120 to 140 commercial vessels crossed the strait. These included supertankers carrying crude oil from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, the UAE, Qatar, and Iran. Every day, roughly 20 million barrels of crude oil moved through Hormuz. Countries across Asia, including India, China, Japan, and South Korea, depended heavily on these uninterrupted supplies. Europe also relied on Gulf oil and liquefied natural gas. Despite periodic tensions between Iran and the West, commercial shipping continued largely uninterrupted. Hormuz had always been politically sensitive, but economically, it remained remarkably reliable. Everything changed on February 28th, when the United States and Israel launched military operations against Iran. Within hours, Iran responded by threatening shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps warned commercial vessels against entering the waterway. Soon afterwards came drone attacks, missile strikes, sea mines, boardings of merchant vessels, and repeated threats against tankers. Shipping companies immediately began suspending operations. Insurance premiums surged. Within days, traffic through Hormuz collapsed.
On the Strait of Hormuz, the Axios reporting that it might open as soon as tomorrow.
Could happen. Tomorrow,
Tomorrow, there's
a lot of progress has been made.
What?
And they called me and they said, please, let's talk. They want to talk. The funny thing is they never mentioned that. They always say, we're not talking. But they called. They wanted to talk. We've been talking. They want to make a deal. They do not want to be hit. It's the biggest hit since World War II, as I said. They did not, and they saw it happening. They saw all the goods being loaded. They saw everything. They knew exactly what was happening. And I think it'd be very smart to make a deal. We'll see what happens.
The difference is staggering. Before the war, around 120 to 140 ships crossed Hormuz every day, 3,000 ships a month. During the height of the conflict, transit virtually stopped. Tracking data showed only a handful of ships moving through the strait over several days. According to marine traffic, only 8 vessels passed through Strait of Hormuz. Hundreds of vessels remained stranded inside the Persian Gulf. More than 600 ships, including hundreds of oil tankers, were waiting for safe passage. Even after temporary diplomatic understandings, recovery has remained painfully slow. Oil exports from Gulf producers have dropped sharply. Although exports have stabilized recently, they remain about 40% below pre-war levels, according to the latest shipping and export data. The economic consequences extend far beyond oil. War risk insurance premiums skyrocketed. Freight companies charged significantly higher rates. Several international shipping firms diverted vessels away from the Gulf whenever possible. For importers, that means higher transportation costs. For consumers, that eventually translates into higher prices. The crisis wasn't only about ships. Thousands of sailors became trapped. Several commercial vessels were attacked. Crew members were killed or injured. Months into the conflict, diplomatic efforts finally gathered momentum. Oman emerged as a key mediator. Negotiations involving Iran, regional states, and the United States sought to reopen commercial navigation. Recent negotiations suggest progress as a deal might be emerging. But major disagreements remain over inspection authority, shipping fees, and long-term security arrangements.
The latest status is that regarding almost all the issues that were raised, the roadmap for transit routes, entry and exit routes, or maritime traffic, and the side agreements with Oman, as it's not just a map, basic understandings have been reached with Oman. In other words, significant progress has been made in the talks with Oman, and these advancements are on the verge of being finalized. According to this understanding, the northern route, which was actually created near Larak Island, and the southern route, located in Oman's internal waters, will be closed because these were completely temporary routes. These will be closed, and this new understanding being formed between Iran and Oman, if we wish to enter the implementation phase, will see this new route become operational once those requirements are met. Regarding the new route, a suitable portion of it lies with Iranian territorial waters, and another part lies within Omani territorial waters, meaning that it has been designed so that commercial ships will pass through Iranian territorial waters both on the entry path and, in parts, on the exit path.
As efforts to reopen the Strait of Hormuz continue, the focus has shifted from whether ships can sail to which route they will take. Today, 3 navigation options dominate the discussion. The first is the traditional pre-war route. For decades, commercial tankers followed the internationally recognized traffic separation scheme, carrying nearly 20 million barrels of oil a day. But during the conflict, this corridor became the most exposed to drone attacks, military encounters, and electronic interference, making it the highest risk route. The second is the proposed Omani corridor. Under the draft Iran-Oman understanding, outbound ships leaving the Persian Gulf would transit closer to Omani waters. Supporters say this would provide a safer, more predictable passage while reducing the risk of military incidents. The third is the proposed Iranian corridor. Inbound ships entering the Gulf would sail closer to Iranian waters. Tehran says the move is meant to improve coordination and navigation, while critics argue it could give Iran greater influence over one of the world's most strategic shipping lanes. The proposal is still under negotiation and has not yet replaced the existing international traffic system. But if implemented, it would mark one of the biggest operational changes in the Strait of Hormuz in decades. So, the comparison is striking. Before the war, Hormuz handled more than 100 ship movements every day. After the war, commercial shipping collapsed almost 95% down. Oil exports fell dramatically. And the world's most important energy corridor became one of its most dangerous. Diplomatic efforts may eventually restore confidence. But until shipping traffic, export volumes, and insurance costs return to pre-war levels, the Strait of Hormuz will remain not just a strategic waterway, but the world's most closely watched geopolitical flashpoint.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.